497 words about building highways in Death Stranding. Published on my website, accordionsprout.com, 8th of April, 2024. Death Stranding is a video game I've played a lot, mostly because of its emphasis on connections, in-game, and cooperative play. Most video games that employ online play foster competition, some healthy, some not. But Death Stranding is unlike any video game I've played because of the way it encourages and benefits players who work towards a common goal. While playing online mode, bridges, ladders, ropes, safe rooms, mailboxes, etc. will appear marked with green to indicate that this is a structure made by another player, and all of them can be used while I make deliveries and make connections between cities and prepper stations. Building highways, however, is a game changer. Stretching across the remnants of the United States, highways provide long stretches of uninterrupted travel that lets me transport a higher number of deliveries in a shorter amount of time. And, best of all, I don't have to fight any mules, former porters who now hijack deliveries to get a rush. There's something about driving past mules on a motorcycle on a brand new highway that's personally fulfilling. It's more than just the convenience, it's the brilliant fuck you high I get while watching them speed past. It's the little things in life. Building involves collecting large quantities of metals, ceramics, and chiral crystals and lugging them to the printer sites, which takes time and energy that could be spent on deliveries. While there is a story to Death Stranding, I've found now after multiple playthroughs that I tend to get bogged down rebuilding the highways instead of actually rebuilding America. Looking for an explanation to this, I think the latter is too abstract, whereas the former has a real dimension. That's one way of saying I rely on the roads more. The highways that I ride along as Sam, NBB, are more real. I drive or walk across highways, back and forth, delivering packages to NPCs who thank me for my help and tell me that I'm making their lives better. The physicality of balancing 30 packages on my back or loading them up onto a truck or bike and then actually making the trip constitutes 90% of the actual gameplay. Likewise, as I encounter more and more roads are built, I begin to encounter fewer and fewer mules and even less BTs, beach things, which can kill me or damage my deliveries. Besides making the trips easier, there's a growing sense that I and the other players are building something greater than what once was. The ease of travel is convenient, but it's the consistent use of the roads that begins to build an emotional and intellectual impression. Sam is a porter. He makes deliveries. While NPCs around him mourn the implosion of society, he sticks to delivering packages, and so the physical presence of roads is far more important than political ideologies. An alternative explanation is that highways are the connection between places and peoples that wind up meaning more than any government ever could. Joshua Jammer Smith, April 8th, 2024. Howdy, I'm Jammer. So, right off the bat, it's important to note, this is a re-recording. While I was looking through my channel to make sure... Oh, you know what, there's no point trying to play high road here. I was looking at the view count. I hate admitting that, but it's true. I like looking at the numbers and seeing how some of them will generally increase and others just don't move at all. And I noticed that this essay, the highway essay about Death Stranding, consistently stayed at 12. And when I decided to play the video just to see it, I noticed about like midway through the screen went solid black. And so I was like, huh. Well, crud. Okay, so this is not me spamming my regular viewers such that they are. This is me just making sure that if this thing is going to be up on the internet, that it is right, and that it is not bugged, and that I actually did my homework. So, I promise. Or no, not I promise. Just, so if you're seeing this again, it's only because the last time I posted this video, I messed up. So, and I'll probably post something in the description section below to that effect. Either way, if you decided to watch it again, hey, thank you for listening. I tremendously appreciate it. If you liked it, like, share, and subscribe, all that usual YouTube nonsense. And then again, if you'd like to help me pay for groceries or pay for rent because that's expensive, and you've got $1 in your pocket you don't mind parting with, hey, My Patreon's in the description. It's patreon.com/jammerdraws. Anything and everything you do, I will be appreciative of. Now, again, when it comes to these under 500 word essays, my goal is, as the title suggests, to try to write something about a video game, some element or idea or story structure or just some moment that occurred while I was playing a video game at or under 500 words. And that's difficult when it comes to Death Stranding because I have played this game literally hundreds of hours at this point, and I still have not fathomed what the game is about. Also, and I admit this to great shame, I haven't beaten it either. I'm working on just pushing through the main storyline now, but I have to be honest, I still haven't beaten Death Stranding, and it kills me, and I recognize too, Death Stranding 2 is coming out any day now, assuming it's actually going to happen and Hideo Kojima isn't just punking us, but you know what? Whatever. I believe we're going to have a Death Stranding 2. I want to finish Death Stranding because there's going to be a Death Stranding 2, and because I love Death Stranding. I love making deliveries, and I don't understand why. Because I work a public service job, I work at a public library. Literally every day of my professional career is helping total strangers find books, find materials, find resources, access databases, apply for jobs, what have you. My day is entirely composed of just the tedium of helping people. So why do I like Death Stranding? One, it has Guillermo del Toro in it, which is just awesome. Two, it's got Léa Seydoux, which, you know, my girlfriend will kill me for admitting it, but she's going to be my future wife at some point, at some point. And then three, there's something about the building exercises. And as I note here, you can build bridges, mailboxes, watchtowers. You can build, most importantly, highways. And what's unique about it is, again, this is a multiplayer experience. Death Stranding is using an internet connection to not necessarily create a competition between players, but rather cooperation. And I really can't think of another video game that does that. Now, I know somebody will immediately be like, well, you know, Animal Crossing does that. Well, to some extent, yes, but with Animal Crossing, visiting another person's island is less about helping them build it up. It's more about seeing their island, interacting with their neighbors, and observing what they've done with their island. Death Stranding is the only video game on the market that I've played that employs cooperative multiplayer rather than competitive multiplayer. And the highway is just like the most perfect examination of this, because once I finish building the highways, I will begin to observe other players liking it. And one of the aspects of Death Stranding is that while you are playing it, you can regularly encounter other people's structures and you can give it a, quote, like. And it's such a dramatic difference when you finish a highway, because if you set up drop a ladder every now and then, or if you set up a watchtower, you'll probably get like maybe 10, 20 likes from other players. The moment I set up a highway and I opened up my game the next day, it hopped up to somewhere around 1,000, possibly even 2,000 likes over the course of a night. That's what this game is. It's thousands, if not millions of people playing this game, rebuilding America, just making deliveries, and relying on other people's structures to help them with that simple task. There's honestly, there's this weird sort of OCD where there's like this, okay, there's all these empty road spaces, and all I need are some metals, and I need some ceramics and some chiral crystals. Well, I've got that in spades. So I go back to Lake Knot City, and I grab as many metals as I can, and I grab all of the ceramics I can. I go back, I put it into the building station, the highway is built. Great. So then I drive down it, and then there's another printing station. So now I have to do the process over again. And this is how I am positive I am on some sort of spectrum, because while some people would hear that concept and be like, that sounds incredibly boring, I begin to drool as I consider the fact, oh my gosh, I get to spend the next 400 hours rebuilding roads. It's, I am outing myself so much as a weird little dweeb in these moments, but I love it. I love Death Stranding for this mechanic because, again, rather than trying to build roads to compete against other players, it's about building a road that you know hundreds or thousands or maybe other millions of players will potentially use in the game. And it's not just a little minor boost. Highways dramatically change how the game is played. Because again, there are various regions across the expanse of this destroyed America where there are mule camps and terrorist camps as you get further along. And each of those camps, driving through it, players are susceptible to physical attack, they're susceptible to bullet fire, what have you. And then again, you have the issue with beached things, dead people who are effectively like just kind of stuck on this mortal plane. That's a very simplified examination of what it is, but it's the best way I'm going to explain it for people who haven't played the game. But again, once you build the highways, your reliance on having to navigate through BT regions is dramatically reduced. Which may not seem like much, but to somebody who has played Death Stranding, you know the difference between driving around an area full of BTs and walking through it is a hassle. And then this is important, and it's kind of like one of the last things that really needs to be pointed out here. I love the motorcycles in Death Stranding. I hate the cars. I do not care at all about the cars. They're convenient, yes, but I love the motorcycles in Death Stranding. It is so much fun driving past a bunch of mules, flipping them the bird, listening to Sam call them a bunch of dumbasses, and then arriving at the NPC, the prepper station, and delivering some goods that, you know, in the afterpoint, you're looking at it and you realize you just spent half an hour trying to deliver a board game. Okay. But it doesn't matter. The point is, you made the delivery. And you know how you made the delivery? With a highway. It's fascinating. And again, I think it's a unique structure that hasn't been employed as much as it really should have. Because cooperative play is such a unique idea. And it gets at the heart of not just what Death Stranding is about narratively, but also what play as a concept is. It's about establishing connections between people. And I mean, you can't get a better connection between people than literally a big old road. But with that, thank you again for listening. I really appreciate it. Go play some video games.